In his first year of riding, he won 2 jockey titles. 2 years later, he would join the legendary Jackie Martin as the youngest jockey to ever win the All American Futurity. The following year, while his career was rapidly rising, it would all come to an end. This is Behind the Gates, Ivan Carnero, and this is his story.
Well, I started riding in 2012. I rode a couple races at Lone Star. I wasn't many. And in 2013, starting there at Remington, you know, I didn't win that many races. I won a few races. I think I wasn't even in the top 10. I was probably 11th to 12th in the standings. But right away, whenever I went to Tulsa, that Fairmeadows, I got leading jockey. And I remember that year, I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks right before the meet was over, I went down and broke my collarbone. And I think on like 15 races ahead of everybody. And by the time the meet was over, I was still about 5-6 races ahead of everybody. And that was in 13. And then right after that, we went to Will Rogers. Carnero won the Black Gold Futurity. I remember, like, right whenever I started riding, it was Cody Jensen actually told me. He's like, if you get him with your left-handed, it's like if your horse is right-handed, so you'll get him to stretch out a little bit more. It's not much. He's like, but it'll be, you know, a neck, or maybe just a nose that'll be enough just to win a race. And I guess that always stuck in my head.
And I think the best riders in the game, hands down, always have the best left hand. When do you ever see a rider in the mornings with a stick in their left hand?
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, they're messing around, twirling it, just messing around with it, always in the right hand. And I think that's why so many riders can't go left-handed.
Yeah, I know there wasn't many riders that could leave the gates with their left hand. I know Cody Jensen could. I thought it was a big thing with the babies. Because a lot of the jockeys be like, well, you can switch quicker than what you couldn't cock your stick. Well, it's not really how fast you couldn't cock your stick, but when your stick is facing down, you got your baby and your 2-year-old's trying to shy from your horse on the right, you know, you could just tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah. If you had to describe to somebody what it felt like to win the All-American, like, how would you describe it? When you won it, you really didn't understand, like, how big it was for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because, like, even before I won the All-American, I mean, you get to watch replays of other All-Americans, and, like, just watching them, I'd get the chills.
Sure.
I guess I just couldn't believe it until probably about 3 weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, that's when it started hitting me. You know, I probably wouldn't even find a way to describe it because, honestly, like, even warming up just with Candy, I mean, I wasn't nervous at all. And usually, you know, even for a stakes race, I won't be nervous, but, you know, you still have that adrenaline. And that day, I guess it's because we weren't favorite, you know, I was a little more relaxed. And, you know, obviously I was going to try my best, but I wasn't going to try not to override. But warming up, I warmed up good. I remember they broke in front of me. I remember right beside me, Jordan's horse, he was in front of me, probably there first. And right about midway through that, I passed him, and I felt like I got to pass Casey's horse in probably about those last, I want to say 100 yards. I could see him just kind of catching me. And then for one moment, I felt like he had about a head bob right in front of me. And he caught me, and I got him back at the wire. Right at the finish line, I was pretty sure I won.
Going down through there, first All-American and all that, like, you just riding like a normal race that never, ever, like, crosses your mind, like, shit, I have a chance to win the All-American.
You know, but before, not really during the race, but, like, let's say a week before, I knew I had a shot. I was like, this horse, when he qualified, he didn't break. He was flying from behind him.
I remember when Clint said, you know, that when they called and said that, yeah, we're going to ride him. Like, the whole time I remember telling myself, like, just don't get too excited around Ivan. Like, I didn't want to make you nervous.
Yeah.
I was super intent on making sure I picked up something for you in the Derby, just so you could go in the post parade in front of the big crowd at least once before Jeff.
Right. But during the post parade, I mean, I really wasn't nervous. And I look back now and I'm like, how was I not nervous?
Yeah.
Something that big. But, I mean, I could honestly say I was just, focused and relaxed in the whole post-parade and warm-up. And I know that helped me on the. I could even say I'd probably get more nervous watching it than actually being on the horse.
I mean, you only rode for 4 years, and to get a horse like that in that short period of a career.
I mean, it was just fun, galloping them, working them. Even that next year as a 3-year-old, I know he'd get out there with those, and there for a while. I mean, you could tell right when he got to the stand, I'd feel him get real low, and he'd be ready to lead. And I don't want to say he'd get up at least a good 5-6 feet off the ground. He almost got me up a couple of times, not because he wanted to, but just because he'd be playing, having a good time, feeling good.
Talk about when he didn't qualify to the All American. Because I remember you taking that pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't do anything about Mother Nature out there. But yeah, I think it's hard. I guess everybody that's expecting for him to win. And then you want to make history, too, with that horse. I mean, if he would have won that race, the horse that made the most money.
Yeah, he would have been the all-time richest quarter horse, passing Ochoa.
Well, after that, that's when we went to Will Rogers and had the spill there.
Well, the week before, I remember you rode Will Rogers at Friday, and Friday night Lone Star, and then Saturday you went to Hobbs for the James Isaac Stakes. And then you went back to Will Rogers on Friday and rode the day there, then go to Lone Star and ride 2 that night, qualified Tyler at the bar to the Dasher Cash Derby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Hobbs, look at when I had qualified in Hobbs, I had qualified 2 for that futurity.
And then you went back to Lone Star that night and rode the futurity trials. And our best one gets in the first trial, but one of Tammy's Rock About It.
Yeah.
You got the next day. You went to Will Rogers to ride the trials and the Black Gold, and you only rode 2 races that day.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like a normal day. I remember just being on the horse. I think the horse had 5 wins in a row.
Yeah, he had won 4 in a row.
Or 4 in a row, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I do remember was him coming out of the gates, and then I remember waking up in the ambulance. I remember I was throwing up blood. And I remember asking the paramedic. I was like, am I going to be all right? And she was like, I don't know. Like, even if she would have lied to me and be like, yeah, you're going to be all right, I guess it would have made me feel better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I remember her saying, like, I don't know. I was like, well, fuck, am I that bad?
Jeez.
And just throwing up blood. And I remember I had my head tied down to, so I couldn't turn my head over. I started to throw up. And I was like, I feel like throwing up. Take the strap off there. Like, no, we can't. Like, crap, if I throw up, I'm going to choke on my own.
Choke on my blood.
Yeah. Just turn my head a little bit, just throwing up blood. I remember them saying, to call it a helicopter. I don't remember seeing the helicopter, but I remember hearing the propellers. I remember them loading me, and then I was out again, and then waking up at the hospital. And for those next 2-3 days, I'd wake up every 3-4 hours. They'd ask me, like, how do you feel? I was like, man, I was in pain. I was like, put me back out. I mean, that pain was miserable. I was actually kind of fortunate that my skull fractured because my brain was swelling. And if my skull wouldn't have fractured, they would have actually had to go in there and cut it just to give it some room for the brain to expand.
Yeah.
And I know I had blood in there probably for about a week or so. Days. I know every day I wanted to get out of there, and they'd stand me up and they'd try to get me to walk, and I didn't have any balance. I didn't have any equilibrium at all. I wanted to have left the 5th day. I stayed in Tulsa I stayed at Augie's house for, I want to say a week, because I had to go back for a checkup to check on the blood that I had in my brain. And I remember that drive back over here, man, it was horrible.
Really?
Just with all the movement and turning, I just felt a little nauseous, and I mean, it would set off migraines.
Oh.
It would set off migraines, and I mean, it was bad. I was especially having my eyes open, just seeing all the movement. That's what triggered everything. But I mean, it was bad because I remember those when I did leave. Those first couple nights, I'd wake up just soaked in sweat, and I had to get one of those walker deals just to be able to walk.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'd lose my balance, and it was pretty bad those first couple of weeks. And I couldn't even shower myself.
Yeah.
Wendy had to help me there.
Yeah.
Those first couple of months were, I mean, any little noise would trigger a migraine.
Really?
I mean, it would be so bad where, I mean, tears would be going down my face just where I couldn't take it. Like, I remember the first time I had to walk up some stairs. I didn't think much about it because it already was like 2-3 months later. I walked up some stairs and, bam, I just felt like somebody pushed me. I was like, oh, hell. And
was that first time you noticed, like, something might still be wrong?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already knew, like, before that when I was walking, you know, like, even I would step down one step, I didn't have any depth perception. Or I'd be walking and I didn't see a step, or maybe not a step, but just, you know, from a higher level to a lower level.
Yeah.
And I'd lose my balance right then and there. And I remember those few months too. Like, even if I would I try to pay for something with my credit card, I remember trying to put the chip in the chip reader, and I would have missed it. I couldn't tell how far it was or how. Yeah. And so I was like, crap, you know, that's when I knew. You know. That's when it started
to mess with you mentally too.
And I didn't want to say much, especially not to Wendy or Zaylee at the time. You know, I didn't want them to worry.
Yeah.
But I'm like, crap, you know, is this going to be forever, or is this?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and that's the thing too, is when you don't talk about that kind of stuff, it just messes with your mind.
Yeah.
And remember when we went to Dallas, I mean, you could tell that stuff was bothering you pretty good.
Yeah.
When did it first cross your mind that you may never ride again?
I'd want to say, I mean, at the time, I was thinking, I was like, I don't want to ride until, you know, till I fully recover. At that time, you know, 2 months, I was like, well, so, you know, you still have hope, I guess you could say, where you'll fully recover this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But as time goes on, that's when, I guess you could say, maybe you don't start losing faith, but then I guess you start seeing, you start being realistic. You're like, well, you know, I'm not really going to be able to ride anymore.
And then, yeah, at that point, you start getting mad.
Yeah. You do get mad. I mean, I was pissed because I was like, you know, why me? Why did this happen to me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like I could say, like I could honestly say, like, man, I think I was one of the hardest working guys out there trying to, I think I earned what I got, you know. I know a lot of people be like, no, he was just a kid. A lot of it was luck. But, you know, not a lot of people saw me out there in the mornings, galloping, going to the farms, going out to the barns.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be, I wanted to be the best. I mean, I knew I had a shot to be able to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then for that to happen to me, you're like, fuck, why me? What did I do wrong to deserve this? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I guess these things happen for.
No,
I don't want to say for a reason, but they just happen. So you gotta find a way to cope with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you get depressed, it ain't gonna fix it.
Exactly. Like, it's okay to you'd be pissed off about it for a while and let it, you know, do its thing, because you can't just bury it and not deal with it either. Like, you have to let it do its thing and, you know, be sad over it and get mad and all that, but eventually there has to come a time where it's like, all right, enough is enough. Now it's time to move on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
But like now, I mean, right now I could say, like right now I'm kind of choking up just for the same reason it did happen. But I could honestly say, you know, I'm back on my feet. You know, now that I'm gonna start training. You know, I'm pretty excited to be able to go out there and compete.
Yeah, speaking of that too, like you can tell right away just talking to you the difference in how you sound now compared to how you did that first year after the accident.
Yeah.
Like that first year, you could tell you were really struggling with it, and exactly the year after it happened, when I don't know if that was probably a low point or if that was the hardest part of it, was when Wendy called me that night, like she couldn't find you, and then I called you, and you could tell you were really, really struggling at that point.
Yeah, that was exactly a year after. Just because I guess because it was that day like crap, you know. A lot of things run through your mind. A lot of things run through your mind. Like, and I guess it's that day that it reminds you, since it was that exact day. Yeah. So you're like, fuck. Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's just little stuff like that. Like it's September 25th is always going to be that, no matter what. 20, 30 years from now, you're still going to remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Yes.
This year I took it pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, you just learn to accept it, like it is what it is, and
you can't
you
change
have
it.
to move on.
I remember that morning when I called you this year. I was like, oh, it's the 25th. I didn't call Ivan. And the year before, I remember hanging up after this year and like, all right, yeah, you know, he'll be all right. He's gonna do all right. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you too. Like it's that whole deal messed with me too, just because I hustled up that horse and took off one of Clint's to stay on that horse. And I hardly ever took off anything Clint's. I think that was still the right call to make, because the horse that Clint had not much. And that other horse went 4-0. It was just a freak deal, but it still messes with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, it could happen to anybody. It was a freak deal, like you said, it was a freak deal. And, I mean, there's nobody to blame. I mean, it is what it is. And I guess that was also one of the things I wanted to find, like, something to blame. Something, like, even intangible, you know, something, whatever it was.
A reason behind it, anything.
Yeah, a reason. And maybe not that reason, but, like, you know, I felt like it was somebody trying to, or not somebody, but just something trying to, I guess you could say, kind of screw you over. So I kind of took that and channeled it, and I was like, you know, whatever this was, I'm going to prove them wrong.
And that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
There for a while, you'd even kind of lost, like, your faith in God there for a little bit and stuff. And it's hard, but like you said, you either hold on to that perspective for the rest of your life, or you channel it into something good.
Yeah, exactly. It's already been 2 years later, and like crap, it's always been 2 years seems like a lot. At first, I was like, I'm probably going to be down for 6 months. I'll start something up and do something at home. And, you know, I guess that's whenever those first 6 months, first year passes, you're like, crap, I haven't done anything with my life, especially whenever you're used to achieving so many things every other week. You know, I guess achieve something in so long. That's like, you know, you start getting anxious. Or like, you know, what am I doing now? Or I need to find something to do. Because I've always been a person, you know, even if I try to set goals, even if it's not big goals, small goals, I guess I feel proud of myself, or I feel a sense of achievement.
Yeah, exactly.
In that first year, you know, it was just tough because I felt like I didn't have something to do, I guess.
You basically lost who you were. I mean, you were a jockey. That's what you did. That's what everything you knew. So when now all of a sudden from one day you're on top of the world, the career was taking off as fast as it was, and everything was going your way, and then all of a sudden the next day it's all completely taken away.
Yeah.
You lose your sense of identity, and it's you have to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
And it felt like it was something I had worked for, I mean, my whole life just to get to that point, you know, for all of a sudden just somebody or something just to come away take it from you.
Yeah.
Or maybe not something. I guess that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was something. I felt like it was somebody. I guess that's how I wanted to take it, just so I could feel, just so I could prove that thing wrong. Even if it wasn't a thing, if it wasn't somebody, obviously. But I guess that's how I wanted to take it, just to be like, hey, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
You didn't beat me. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't beat me.
You ain't keeping me down. So have you been back to the track since, like
No.
the grandstand anywhere?
I went that next year for a banquet award.
Mm-hmm.
And, I really didn't think it was going to hit me hard, but when I went, I was like, crap, you're there, you see everybody, and you feel like you can't compete.
Yeah.
I'm choking up, and I'm like, you can't compete, and it just hits you.
Yeah.
You're like, crap, this was everything I had, everything I did, just to lose it.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, now you're coming back. I'm not going to call it a comeback. We'll just call it a reinvention.
Yeah.
You got your trainer's license now, and you're starting Remington.
Yeah, I'm going to get my trainer's license out. I expected to have just a couple horses.
First, what made you decide that you wanted to come back? Because I know you tried to stay away from the track as long as you did. You didn't go to the track and stuff. Have you watched the All American? Because I remember there for a while you hadn't even watched Jess's All American after the spill.
No, it took me a while. It actually took me a few months to watch the replay where I went down too. I didn't even watch it. And then just one day,
I just watched it for the first time, like maybe a month or two ago.
Really?
Yeah. When Stallion Eastwood was coming out with their making of a sire stuff, when all this was going on, and I remember you weren't watching any of it. Like I'd be like, "Hey, did you see that?" You'd be like, "No." Like, no, I don't really want to see it.
I watched All American, the race, but I've never watched those the videos.
You still haven't watched them?
For the same reason. You're like,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yes, you just don't want to relive it.
No. Yeah. Exactly. It's tough to do, but I mean, it's hard to go through that. But see, those are the good memories. But so now you're gonna, how many are you gonna have in Remington? You said you only thought you were gonna have a couple. Like, what made you decide you wanted to come back and you just missed it?
Just to go back and compete. Well, at first, I was like, just as a hobby, have a couple horses, just go out there to kind of play around. And I called a couple owners. I didn't want to get any older horses. I didn't want other trainers to think, trying to take away their horses. Like, if I get any horses, I just want some babies just to kind of mess around with. And so I came up with about 15 horses. And so now I'm like, then you start getting that competitive feeling again, where I have a shot to, to win a few races, maybe even some stake races and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty excited for Remington this year.
Yeah. Training's not going to be as easy as riding was, right?
Yeah, I know I won't be able to win a 3-4 races a weekend, but just the fact that I'll be out there owning them and galloping them.
You're gonna pony. You're gonna try and gallop your own too.
Yeah, I want to gallop them for sure. I want to pony them. I've always thought the way you warm up a horse is about 40% of your race at least.
Mm-hmm.
The way you warm up any horse. You got your nervous horse, you got to settle them down. You got your lazy horse, you got to, fire them up a little bit just to kind of get them on the heels. And that's always been a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I know when we first went to Rio Doso and you first started getting on horses with Paul Jones, right away, like after the second one you galloped, Lisa pulls me aside and she's like, "This kid's one of the smartest kids I've ever seen on a horse. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he just has something different that most riders don't have." So I think that's going to go a long ways now that you're training them, taking out your own in the mornings and stuff like that. I think if you had to enter a horse right now and I said, "Give me 3 riders to name on this horse," Who are they going to be?
Well, I guess it depends on the horse. I mean, I'd really like to fit one rider with one horse. You know, I don't think every rider fits every horse, just on the style of their riding. Yeah, I mean, there's a few riders I have in mind. I guess it just depends.
I know as a rider, you used to go and like seek out advice from other riders and stuff too. What about now as a trainer? Will you do the same?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a person that I probably ask too much. I mean, I've learned a lot by asking. Like now that I build houses, I mean, that's the only way that I've learned, by asking. I guess I don't have that ego where I ask something and I feel like, I'm gonna feel dumb. Like, I'm not that type of person.
And that'll go a long way in the training aspect.
As a jockey, I really wanted to go after champion jockey. Now I feel like I didn't have a shot.
Yeah.
So,
and then the fact that you were so close to it, it leaves that little fire inside of you. So those 2 or 3 years that I did Hustle Book, the only thing I wanted, like I felt like part of me was still missing because I never won an All-American and I never had a champion jockey.
I think you feel like a closure to what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you weren't ever close, it wouldn't be the same. But the fact that you were so close, in 15, you were second in the nation, and then in 16, when you got hurt, you were second in the nation as well. I mean, leading up to that, Edgar won the All American Futurity and the Derby and had a huge weekend, and that's when he passed you. So we were just knocking on the door every year, and it was only going to be a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's kind of what, since I know it was right then, I could have done it, and I didn't do it. I'm like, crap, I guess I was kind of, gets to me the most.
Yeah.
Where I knew I had a chance. But, yeah, as a trainer, I know you need horses.
Yeah.
You need your 60, 70 head of horses to even try to be champion trainer. But like I said, I know I could get there, maybe not in 1, 2, maybe the 3rd, 4th year. But I have a feeling I know I could do it. And obviously win the All American as a trainer. Main one this year was the first time his dad and son does it. I want to be the first time a jockey and win it as a jockey and as a trainer.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. Everybody gets knocked down.
They're running in the Ruidoso Derby, and a great break from All Just Good Candy came away fast, but is floating to the outside fence. Back toward the inside, Duponte. Middle of the track, a Political OK just went by Big Lou, and it's Just Good Candy. Here comes a Political OK. Duponte to the inside, but Just Good Candy wins the Ruidoso Derby and remains undefeated. The outside post. All set. They're running in the All American Futurity. A good enough break from All Hateful is Show Speed with TFI and that guy. One Fabulous Eagle. Crooked path to the far side. Back to the inside. Just Good Candy. And here comes First Valiant Sign. First Valiant Sign battling away. Just Good Candy. Far side. One Fabulous Eagle. One Fabulous Eagle. Just Good Candy. Just Good Candy. One Fabulous Eagle in the photo for the win in the All American Futurity.
I want to be the first time a jockey and win it as a jockey and as a trainer.